The Public Safety Training and Response Group might be turning up to a disaster near you, or at the very least, some who have been training under their guidance could be turning up right next to you. Let's bring in Trevor Arnold, the company's Director of Operations. Like so many of those recruited for this team, Trevor has over 30 years' experience in the field of rescue work. Trevor Arnold, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Chris, and thanks for having us on tonight.
Tell us about the overseas template or experience for private emergency rescue groups. It's now an accepted way to manage disasters, right?
Definitely in some areas, and we are already working overseas. We have some fire trucks working in the US at the moment as part of a public-private partnership, and we're also heavily invested in an ambulance service in the UK. Again, works under like the National Health banner, but is a fully private ambulance service.
And what factors are leading to the same kind of demand in Australia?
I think demand in Australia is always lots of events happening at the same time. We can have floods over one side of the country and fires over the other and heat waves in the middle. And so frontline emergency services are, starting to get stressed. Defence Force have said that they, are not capable of responding to everyday emergencies, and that's where Public Safety Training and Response Group comes in.
And volunteers are scarcer than they ever were, aren't they?
They are. Look, I was a volunteer and a volunteer manager for a lot of my career, and certainly the pressures that are on volunteers now with cost of living and the amount of time that they can give is a challenge, whereas we have a fully paid workforce, and so we don't have the normal constraints that volunteers may have in some areas.
I always say on the program that Australia is the red tape capital of the world, but how is your group coping in getting government permission to join in the event of a flood or fire and the like?
Look, it's a matter of us proving to ourselves, and we do have some contracts already with some councils, and we're getting more and more requests for our services and at least people to understand what we do. Every day now the requests are coming in.
So from what I saw when I visited the Oxley headquarters in Brisbane, it's a well-equipped organisation. Tell us a bit about the company's tools of trade.
Well, we have everything really from drones or RPAS as they're now like to be called, which can do all sorts of things like aerial ignition for controlled burns. We can do LiDAR scanning. We can do searches for missing people or objects. We have some helicopters which can do everything from firefighting to search and rescue. And as you can see on the screen, we have a very good water rescue capability with not only our high clearance vehicles, but also jet skis and inflatable rescue boats.
I haven't witnessed myself too many jet skis being used in flood emergencies. I'm sure they are used somewhere, but you have a fleet of them, right?
We do have some jet skis, and we spent some time over in the United States with LA County Fire, who pioneered some of the jet skis used in swift water and floodwater rescue. And it's probably fair to say there's a few misconceptions that we're trying to overcome here in Australia. But I think watch this space, you'll see jet skis used more and more in flood and swift water rescues.
That makes sense. Now, if you don't take part in the actual life-saving, you're training plenty of community groups too, aren't you?
Yes, we train community groups, government departments, members of the public. So we are a registered training organisation here in Australia. And we can do pretty much the normal range of emergency service type training, everything from first aid to aviation rescue. We have our own helicopter rescue crews, and we can teach other crews to the national standards.
You've got some former military personnel within your ranks as well, don't you?
All of our operational people are either ex-military or ex-emergency services. So we understand the business. Many of the defence guys and girls are still serving reservists as well. But we all bring a different set of skills to what we can use in a disaster
I think the concept is fabulous. I think it can work perfectly, especially in, disaster-prone states and territories like the Northern Territory, West Australia and Queensland. I think you'd be perfectly suited to team up with the volunteers that we have at the ready. Trevor, Arnold, all the very best for you and the company. The Director of Operations, thank you for your time.
Thanks, Chris.